pain in the yin yang.
Okay, we're live again. Something does not want us to be live. We have tried 5 times.
Yeah.
The keyboard has broken, or I don't know if it's broken, but it's turned itself off. And the webcam wasn't working, then you couldn't hear us. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just strange.
Very strange.
Like I said, I blame these little guys over here for that. There are, I think, let's see, there's
our resident haunts.
4, 6. I think there's 5 dolls over there. 2, 4. There's 7 of them over there. And behind me, we have a new Raggedy Ann doll.
It's Raggedy Andy.
Raggedy Andy doll, excuse me. Anyways, every time we start talking about the jail, everything goes haywire.
Which I find suspect. Which
Yeah.
I don't know how, if other people on here use the live on YouTube, do they have this many problems? Is it normal to have the audio go out and the camera go out? All these things go out? I don't know.
Yeah. So anyways, we're just getting ready to do a podcast here. We're going to be talking about Bigfoots. And we're going to, Amanda's a skeptic, which is awesome. I love it. I love that she's skeptical because it keeps me level, if you will. And so, she asked me questions and it's like, whoa, I didn't think about that. And then I present things to her. She goes, oh, well, I didn't think about that. And so at this point, she's never had a sighting, and which is cool. I mean, I kind of like her being a skeptic because then if she becomes a believer, it's going to be much harder to keep myself balanced. She's going to be like, oh, well, crap. Okay, I believe you now. All those stories you've been telling over the years is actually, okay, that makes sense now. But anyways, so yeah, we'll be talking about Bigfoots tonight. We're going to be talking about them being stealth. One of the videos we captured from Joe's camp, or several videos we caught from Joe's camp, we spent about 4 years basically investigating up there at multiple times. Basically, we'd go up there for a weekend and then go back up every 3 or 4 months and do some more research up there and try and document more Bigfoot activity and see what else we could experience besides the ghosts and stuff like that. Unfortunately, Joe has passed away, and so we don't have access to his property anymore. Still have not been able to get a hold of his family members or anybody else that may own the property to see if they're, would allow us to come in and investigate. My biggest fear, Joe's biggest fear, was that if he sold the property, that somebody would come in and just bulldoze everything and tear out all the trees and all that stuff, and essentially just put a house and fence around there, and then that would destroy the Bigfoot's habitats. He's got, or he had, 3 or 4 freshwater creeks on his property where freshwater just runs right through the middle of his property. So that's pretty interesting. Place for them to have a water source and to cool down and stuff like that. And I'm pretty sure his property was a breeding ground. I think they kept the little ones on his property because I had multiple sightings of juvenile Bigfoots there, including one that was only about 3 feet tall. And we'll talk about that in the Bigfoot podcast here in a bit. But
I never saw anything.
Well, she did see things. She saw eye shine, and she heard the tree knock. She heard the screams.
Yeah, well, but that doesn't mean anything because the eyes could have been a wild cat or I saw eye shine, but they could have been normal predators. I don't know if deer's eyes shine in the night.
They do.
So it could have been anything.
So yeah, the part where we disagree is that how wide apart are the eyes? I mean, our eyes are only about 3 inches apart. Deer's eyes are only about 3 or 4 inches apart. Most predators' eyes are about the width that ours are, maybe just a little bit wider. The eyes on the camera that we caught were 6-8 inches apart, which is unusual. So at some point, we're going to have to take that footage and sit down with what I'm trying to do is get a hold of a primatologist. I've contacted Texas A&M, and they just kind of they don't want anything to do with the Bigfoot stuff. They did have a Bigfoot research team at Texas A&M, and I don't know what happened to it. I've tried to contact them, tried to find out more about them. if you guys know anything about them and maybe you have a contact with them, let me know. I need to contact them. I need to get in touch with them. Or maybe there's old members that are listening to our podcast or whatever. But this is not the podcast, by the way. It's just a live from our office. We were trying to go live earlier again, and
it didn't work out well.
Every time I try and do something like this, something interferes. It's like, no, So, anyways, I wanted to go live and let people have a chance to talk to us before we did our podcast. Amanda's been nice enough to come on with me tonight, so we're going to be just going back and forth about Bigfoots, and we're going to be comparing different pictures of what could be a cloak or several cloaked Bigfoots. I'm on the fence on that, but Amanda did bring up a fact that one of them has a green hue.
Right. So there's a video from Joe's Camp on the YouTube channel where you can see a figure that moves on the video, and it's almost like a green screen, but we took that video. It's from a trail cam, and on the same trail cam we got clear video of deer. I think there was a raccoon, there was people, us walking by. Nothing like that particular green shadow like figure, which nothing makes sense of what that can be. Like, what is it?
Yeah. And as I always say with Bigfoots, and we'll get into this in the podcast, I just have so many questions. I've had multiple sightings. I've had 30 or 40 sightings of these things, or encounters, I'll call it. And at least 20 plus sightings where I could say that couldn't be anything else but a Bigfoot. And I don't know. I have more questions. We got to meet Dr. Myra. I forget her last name, but she's on the show Expedition Bigfoot. And unfortunately, we only had a few minutes with her. And I wanted to ask her. I wanted to pick her brain for hours, but I couldn't do it because there was just
time constraints.
Yeah, exactly. Too many people waiting behind us, and I couldn't do that to everybody behind us. So
I did get her signed a book.
That's awesome. Signed a book if you ever get the opportunity to meet her, she's a sweetheart. She's really, really nice. She's very, very forthcoming and stuff like that. So really enjoyed meeting her, and maybe in the future we'll get to meet more people. But like I've had that experience of meeting Matt Moneymaker and Bobo. I'd really like to meet Cliff. If you're listening to this, I'd really like to meet you. And Renee too. It would be interesting to meet her, just to get her take on Bigfoot. And
I'm closer to Renee's side, where I believe a lot of it is men in suits.
Well, yeah, and we'll talk about that on the podcast. Unfortunately, I only talk about our evidence pretty much. I don't really talk about anybody else's evidence because I don't, I wouldn't want somebody to sit there and just stab at our evidence. If you have if you want to take a look at our evidence and say, okay, yeah, maybe that's possibly somebody in a suit, then come out with us. We'll show you. We're not hiding anything, but I just don't want to do that to anybody else, because what if it is real? And if you're not there and you're not experiencing it, sometimes the cameras don't always get the best photos. Unfortunately, what I find is a lot of people will, get a picture of a Bigfoot and it's distant, which is normal. That's normally what happens with Bigfoots. And then they crop it in, and then they crop it in, and they go, oh, look, I took this little tiny 1-inch square of what could have been a Bigfoot off of a 12 by 12 photo. And then you get this blurry thing. And I understand why they do it. I zoom into photos all the time to look and see what I can see. It's just what I'm trying to say is don't crop your images. Leave it be. Don't crop your video. Don't crop your pictures. Leave it be. Let people zoom in and make up their own opinion. If you think there's a Bigfoot there, then that's awesome. Leave it. Don't edit your footage. Just leave it as it is, because essentially when you do that, you create a blur, especially with these cell phones, in the older pictures too, because the pixels You mess with the pixels when you do that. All right, guys, it's getting a little late. I know we only were on here for a few minutes. I apologize for the live stream not working before, but we will definitely come back on here and bring a podcast in here in a few minutes. We're going to try and start going live like every Friday if we can. We try to go live from the jail. Unfortunately, there was just no signal out there. And a lot of the places we investigate, it's secluded. It's away from everything. You know, that old town didn't have any Wi-Fi at the jail or any of the other buildings, so we couldn't even get our security cameras to work.
Yeah, we had to use not old school cameras.
We had to
use her camera.
Yeah.
For all the videos. So
right.
We did take some cell phone videos, but couldn't post anything. So
yeah, we couldn't even post to Facebook or anything. We tried. I had to walk. The pictures I did post to Facebook. If you're not following us on Facebook, I had to go drive down the way just to get them to go up.
My live worked on Facebook.
Yeah, your live worked, and people said they couldn't hear me at all, which is weird. So on the YouTube, I don't know what happened with that. Next time I'll use that little mic, that pre-mic that I have, and hopefully she and I will both go live at the same time. But
we can only go up from here and get better.
Right. So we haven't done a lot of lives, so you guys will have to bear with us. We're still learning. Being a production company, we're learning how to do lives. But we try and bring you a good video. I think that was our 6th show. So the next couple of weekends is going to be just grinding away at trying to get these videos put into a show.
Yeah.
We have some things we got to go back and finish, like the Sam Houston National Forest. We got to go back there. I
honestly just think that's going to be an ongoing series. The Sam Houston National Forest. The forest is too big. We're going to put out a show. But that's going to be multiple shows, Sam Houston National Forest, because it's too big.
Yeah,
you just have to keep going.
And the whole reason the show hasn't come on yet is because we've been struggling with the identity for the show. You know, how do we want to do this? And after I sat down and started editing the first show, I'm like, oh, well, we didn't have enough, stuff to even content to actually make a show for that first one. We lost all our witnesses and all that stuff, and
we can still pull short out of it though.
Yeah, we'll still pull a video out of there and possibly post it here sooner or later. So that show's going to be done. The cattle mutilation stuff was way worse than I thought it was going to be. I had friends threatened. I had other witnesses threatened. People were told to shut up and stuff like that. And so, it just wasn't worth their safety or our safety, or having our channel taken down, or whatever was going to happen with that. So we just left that be. But we have been doing a lot of research, Bigfoot research. We've hit a couple of jails. We still got to go back and film just a little bit of stuff for those 2 jails. There's some stuff that we want to add. In fact, we will probably be going back to both those jails as part of our series. So I think what we're going to do is have episodes. We're going to have multiple episodes at the same location. When you are doing this more scientifically, you're trying to go back and eliminate things as you go. You're trying to debunk things. Even though we did a lockdown for 2 days and we shot a lot of footage, I think we shot in like 60, 70 hours, we still need more footage. We're still trying to get more content. So we'll be working on that. We might just be shooting, doing half-hour shows, and then essentially from there, we probably will have half-hour shows come out like every Friday or every Saturday, and then we'll have a follow-up podcast for after the show, where Amanda and I will sit down and discuss the show and what we experienced and stuff like that. Maybe elaborate a little bit more on the things that happened, because someone was following around going, "Mommy." It was the funniest thing.
And that was in the ghost box.
Yeah, that was through the ghost box.
Every room that we turned the ghost box on, they were saying "Mommy." Yeah. I must have looked like a mom.
So we weren't getting a lot of activity. The only activity did not start picking up until we turned the ghost box on. Unfortunately, we've used the spirit box there once, and it seems like once the ghosts get a taste of the spirit box, they will just continue to use that. They won't do EVPs. They won't do anything else. They'll only do that.
We still have to go through the
So,
audio recorder.
Yeah, we have a bunch of audio recordings too. We probably have 30, 40 hours of audio because we recorded the whole time. So, anywho, we'll listen through that again. Like I said, I've said this before. When I first started into this, and I said, "Oh, let's become our own production company," and blah blah blah. This will be fun and easy. Wrong. Oh my gosh.
We're still learning.
Yeah, well, I've been doing this for 20 years now. I've been editing videos for almost 20 years. And I just thought it would be the same. But now I'm looking at the shows and I'm comparing it to other YouTube channels and I'm going, okay, people really like this or they really don't like that or whatever. And so, like I said, it's going to be a combination of Expedition Bigfoot, Ghost Adventures, Ghost Hunters, Finding Bigfoot, and a lot of the other shows that are out there. That's what we're going to try and mimic a little bit. You'll get a little bit of each. So, Russell is our Aaron, and we put him into some strange situations, put him into places where he wasn't real comfortable, but he's been pretty cool about that, and he's been doing that. Russell's kind of our camera guy, so he likes to go into strange places and just be left to sit and experience something. So yeah, those shows will hopefully start coming out by the end of the year. I'm hoping to do that. We have a Bigfoot conference out in Huntsville in what is it? In December, and then January, I think we're going to start doing meet and greets because we've been meeting a lot of people lately. And so we'll be doing a meet and greet, probably here in Bryan and maybe in College Station, maybe in Huntsville, maybe in Cold Springs. We've had so many people walk up to us and, "Oh, you're Bigfoot researchers." They see the car. And they're like, "Oh, I love the paranormal," and it's awesome to meet them. So it's always fun to meet a fan or fans. So yeah, and our show will try and be pretty much kid level, so that there's nothing too scary in there or profane language or anything like that. It won't be anything fake or anything like that. So anyways, that's what we're working on. We want to make sure this is a good product and it's going to be real. That's the main thing.
Nothing fake.
Right. I mean, we've had the opportunity to work with other producers, and I've been to Hollywood multiple times. We've been to Hollywood multiple times. We worked with actors. We've done all kinds of stuff in that area, and sometimes they like to put other stuff in, additives that we don't really want in our show. So that's why we went off on our own. We want to make sure what you guys are seeing is real, the real experiences and stuff like that. Again, the Normandy Inn, people are asking about the Normandy Inn. Unfortunately, that got canceled.
Got sold.
Yeah, because her friend's dad sold it.
He sold it.
It is. It happens. That's
it's property, so that happens.
Pretty much the paranormal happens. That's shorty there. But
okay.
Anyways. All right, guys. So we're going to start our podcast here. That'll be coming up here. It'll probably be posted tomorrow or Thursday. So be looking for that. I think I'm going to try and start posting the podcast every Thursday. I'm going to try and start doing some shorter podcasts where I just I don't know if that's even possible, but
it's not possible for Matt.
Yeah. So, anyways. We'll start trying to post more podcasts for you guys, maybe 3 to 5 days a week again, and go from there. Like I said, we'll have the After the Show podcast where Amanda and I will talk about stuff. And people that are asking for the name of the show, it's going to be called
Exploring the Unknown with Matt and Amanda.
Right. Yeah, sorry, I brain farted. Dogs are distracting me. I got 5 dogs back here. All
too many dogs. Attention. That's Matt's fault. Anyways, we're wrapping this up so we can start our podcast.
Yeah, okay. All right, guys. We'll see you on the podcast.
Next time, we'll give you more time to log on for our live, so you can ask us questions.
Right, and we'll pick a day to start doing this, like Fridays or Saturdays, we'll do a live stream with you guys where you guys can chit chat with us. Maybe we'll use the phone instead of this, so it won't be such a problem child.
Well, now that we hopefully kick the kinks, we'll be good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for following us. Thank you for your support, and we'll see you later.
All the links to everything is down below, by the way. If you're looking for our podcast, it's down below. And then we're also on Rumble and TikTok and stuff like that. So there's some videos over there that aren't here. All right. We'll talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys.